Hi everyone, this is Austin from Raw Bliss. As you might be able to tell, I was doing a coconut fast today. I had about 7 coconuts. Didn't film all of it, it just didn't seem necessary. All of them were jelly except for one, so I didn't eat the meat of that one, but I ate the meat of the rest of them. It was really good. And coconuts are super satisfying. Feeling a lot better. The cough is winding down. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself because I noticed I got a few more subscribers that might not know so much about me. So I grew up in Spokane, Washington in the United States. And it's like a eastern Washington, like rural little town, like kind of rednecky. And then once I was like 10 years old, I believe, we moved to the western side of Washington, which I prefer. It's a lot more beautiful, green nature, and we stayed in a place called Federal Way, which is near Seattle, Washington. And yeah, stayed there for, until I was 23. And then right when I turned 23, I decided to move to the tropics for a while. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit how I started becoming a vegan. So in 2012, I started experimenting with psychedelics, for example, mushrooms and LSD. Those two in particular. Mushrooms grow pretty abundantly in western Washington. So I took like a pretty hefty dose, like 4 or 5 grams, and soaked it in orange lemon juice. I wouldn't recommend anybody do this, but this is my experience, and the mushrooms started talking to me and telling me things about myself that I needed to work on. Things, for example, like eating really, really unhealthy food. Like, I ate really bad. I used to weigh 230 pounds, or like 100 kilos. So I ate really, typical American, like pizza all the time, fried chicken, all these things. And it helped me see that animals are not meant for our consumption. Afterwards, I did more research into it, watching documentaries like What the Health, Cowspiracy, and Food Inc. was a good one too. So, yeah, these substances helped me see people, for example, that I saw as my friends weren't particularly interested in myself, more just to use drugs to escape, to numb themselves, and that wasn't really an energy that I wanted around. I wanted to vibrate higher. So after that experience, I quit smoking weed. I also quit doing psychedelic drugs. And this led me down a path. So I went vegan for 1 month, and then I started researching. And then I saw these people who were doing raw foods. Excuse me. And I saw what they were doing, and they're just glowing in health. And like these ultra marathon runners, and they're like 50 years old, but they look like they're 20, and all these things. So I decided to try raw food. I did it for about a month, and fruits, greens, nuts, seeds, the whole shebang, raw, gourmet. So like a lot of like raw junk food, like kale chips or granola bars, or things that aren't really whole foods, like fruits and veggies. So after that 1 month, I again just researched more and more, and found that people were eating only fruits. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'll give that a go. I tried that for 1 week. And after 1 week of eating only fruits, I felt so good that I didn't want to go back to any of the other diets that I've tried in the past. So, it really, and I've been a fruitarian now for over 2 years. And about 2.5 years. I don't remember the specific date off the top of my head, but I also worked at a health food store, which made it a lot easier to be a raw foodist, fruitarian. I was raw when I started working there, and they had things like a raw kale salad, raw like gourmet desserts that were so good, but very high in agave syrup usually. And I found that after a while the agave made me feel really bad, like I would get headaches and just wouldn't digest well. So yeah, afterwards the fruit diet, and there's a produce bin there for the employees, and everything's 100% organic, so I'd always get like a lot of fruits for free, which is great. You know, they're just bruised or something, not good enough to sell, and I really enjoyed that. So the reason I decided to move to the tropics is because the tropics has the most high quality fruits, the most high vibration tropical fruits are what can sustain us, like to live. Like for example, today I only ate coconuts because like just the tropical fruits, there's so much, I don't know how to say it, they're like very satisfying. They're more complex, the flavors, not your typical apples, bananas, oranges that you get imported in the grocery store, which are also nutrient depleted from the soil. So here you get it, on Bali they have volcanic soil, so it's very nutrient dense, all the fruits and vegetables. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I moved to the tropics. Another reason is durian. It's my favorite fruit. Not available in the States unless you get it frozen, which is a frozen Thai variety called montong, and they're often sprayed. And they're often unripe, and they'll have like worms inside them and different things, so, and like really watery and stuff like that, so not really the most optimal fruit. You don't want frozen fruit, you want it fresh, like picked that day, ripe from the vine, will make you feel divine. And I've really felt that to be true since coming here. I've got to forage my own fruit, and it truly feels right. Like the natural human design is a frugivore. We are fruit eaters by design, and just it feels so amazing to be here, to be eating fruits from this place, not imported. It's always good to eat local, but even more so to eat tropical fruits. Tropical fruits, nothing compares at all. Like getting a mango imported from Mexico that's been soaked in hot water over 100 degrees, and it's technically a cooked fruit. You can't really find good mangoes unless you know a farmer or live in Florida or Hawaii, for example, California, that grows their own, because most of them are imported from Mexico and hot water treated. Here you can get mangoes fresh, like picked that day, and they're just so satisfying. You're just like, oh, I don't want to eat anything but this mango. It's so complex in flavor. It's not just one sweet note. It's like, it tastes like the jungle that it came from. and you'll notice like the more nutrients in a fruit, the more complex the flavor is. And I've seen that to be true. So I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. I don't do drugs anymore. I'm sober. So yeah, I really like learned my lesson from those things. I wouldn't recommend like anybody else do it, of course, so don't get the wrong message. There's always like different pathways of getting places, and that was just the pathway I took, and I'm very grateful for those experiences because they made me who I am today. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed. I'm just doing a little something different. Let me know down below, comment what you think, if you want to see more of these videos, suggestions. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace and love. Bye.